Get ready.
Bob Kadlubosky. It's what I've said many times before. Like, you see when I'm trying to talk about issues, you keep interrupting me. And what happens is, like today, I worked hard today. I had a job we did, and the job didn't go good. It took 3 times as long to do the job, and I'm like frustrated over that. And I rushed down here, I was late. I worked hard today. Job didn't go good. But the problem we have here is, when you're interrupting not only me, but other citizens. And that's what you do, and that's how these arguments end up. You're like, I'm trying to make my point, and before I can lay it out and make it, you're having me thrown out, and you keep violating my rights. You can't do that. You people work for us. And what I wanted to say is, things are going to be happening. And you said productive things. How many times, when I came to you, Bill, in what, 2010? I told you what was going on in the police department. I told other members of council, look what's happening. Went to Kathy Kane, sat with her down at the Dome Shop in Penn Ave and said, look what's happening. Bob, I understand, I've heard the same complaints. And look what you turned around and did. You put a towing ordinance into effect that basically put me out of business. Who is anyone sitting on that side of the rail to tell me how to run my business? When I was involved with the towing for the city, there was no problem. Everything ran good. And if you could remember, Bill, a conversation we had with the head of PennDOT, with me, you, my attorney, and Edmund Zigman. There was a problem with abandoned cars. People thought I was trying to do something wrong. And I'll never forget your exact statement after it got rolling. You said, you start complaining, they changed the whole law for the whole state. They corrected what I found was wrong. But when you're talking about people coming down here, I do get frustrated. And with that towing ordinance, you basically put me out of business. And if you would have just stepped in several years ago, and did something, we wouldn't have happening what's going to be happening here. And I don't know exactly when. But when I come down here, you keep interrupting me. You're violating my rights. You have to expect to take somebody like me. Like years ago, when I discovered what was going on with the garbage. You know what happened to me, council people? I was called to a meeting down at Myers High School. And I was in fear of my life because I figured I was warned who I was dealing with. I took 2 pistols down. I had one here and one here. Figuring if they grabbed me, I had it all set to call the police. I had my helper. They offered me a payoff. Shut up about the garbage, get more money for towing and storage. I'll never forget, once I knew that was going to happen, I took the clip out of the pistol and unloaded it, and the bullet rolled on the desk. And I said to the guy, you could go tell that punk up at City Hall, you ought to thank God you didn't try to hurt me, because I would have wasted every one of this if my life was in danger. And I told that to the FBI, the Crime Commission, and the Attorney General's office. I've been a fighter for the people. And the only one that stuck up so far for the people here is Tony George. If he didn't go as far as he did with that towing thing, it would still be going on. And I guess I'm going to finish this is, I did try to do stuff. I do try to do it the right way. But when these people interrupt, and I was watching Mr. Merrick, when people were talking, or he's going through papers. I mean, that's disrespectful. And I think Mr. Walsh brought a very good idea. And I've seen it in other council places, where a podium should be set up so that people could talk direct to the council and people could watch. And like, I know it's not a big issue, but it is an issue. It used to be a podium right there. Why should these administrators, the salaries they get and the mayor gets and everything, why shouldn't they stand up and look at the people? They sit there like some kind of Buddhas and they don't address the people. And I guess I'm going to close on this. I came to this council and told the truth about the corruption. You had Mr. Vinsco forming corporations for the city tower. You had the mayor acting as the realtor for Leo Galazzi. You had this problem with Old River Road Bakery. We're now being sued. I've been telling the truth. And when I come here and I do get loud, I don't mean to, but when you're interrupting me, and I don't only see you do it to me, you do it to other citizens. But just so you know, you are violating my rights and other people's rights. And I don't even like coming down here. And I think after this scandal is done, and whoever's going to go to jail goes to jail, I have to stay away for a while and just sit there and say, I want to get up in front of the press and say, I told them And I still have what you did to me, Bill. You had that ordinance to take over the towing. It basically put me out of business. I couldn't make it. And I don't want to bring up, like, I mean, you're set in your life with your pensions and stuff, and I'm not saying you didn't deserve
We're
it.
out of time, and you don't need to go into the personal area.
Well, I understand, but I'm just trying to make my point.
Thank
If
you.
I could, now, other people had a couple extra seconds. I want to say this. Is there a way that maybe we could change the meetings to 7 o'clock? Because it really was hard for me to get here. And how about we try to increase the times for people?
Thanks. Anybody care to address Mr. Kadlubosky?
What, are you kidding me?
Thank you.